Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here, and I feel like one of the biggest stories of the past couple of months, or really maybe even this whole year in a lot of ways, especially into like Worlds and everything else throughout the regional league season, has been people maybe getting a little bored of the overall League of Legends esports format. Maybe it's getting a little bit stale. Not that they're getting bored, because in some places viewership's still doing very, very well. People are still excited. Worlds has been amazing. The crowds are insane, but people are just wanting it to be better. People are wanting it to be more. And it seems like there's all kinds of changes on the horizon for the 2023 season. Some things speculative, some things happening for sure. And we're going to talk about a new couple exciting ones in this video today. But first, a word from today's sponsor, which is, of course, Prize Picks. They are back, and I'm so happy to have them. They have been absolutely amazing to work with. This is daily fantasy made easy. You can play now on the website, prizepicks.com. You can also get it in the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. And if you get signed up today using the first link in the description below and you're a new user, they're actually going to match your first deposit up to $100, which is an awesome deal. Big payouts, 24/7 live support, fast and secure withdrawals. It's just really simple and easy. They offer all different kinds of esports, traditional sports, all the stuff you already love and watch and follow very closely. You know, you can add a little something extra to it by participating on Prize Picks. And it's simple. All you got to do is pick more or less of certain props that they put out. In League of Legends esports, oftentimes it'll be like kills, assists, deaths, something like that. They'll show you a player, they'll show you a number, more or less. Get a couple of those right, and you guys can win. Like I said, check it out, the first link in the description below. Thank you so much for Prize Picks. Hopefully you guys check them out, and it does help support me, my channel, and my content. With that being said, let's get right into this. So, this is one of the most recent reports that we have had. This is coming from Esporin, which... this could be incorrect, but if I remember correctly, this is a Turkish esports media company website type thing, and they tweeted out this, which again I believe is in Turkish. Translated from Turkish. According to information from our sources, Turkey will not have a world slot from the 2023 season. We've heard that Turkey may lose its independent league status by 2023, excuse me, I'm like getting the hiccups, may lose independent league status by 2023 and turn into a regional league and become part of the ERLs, the European Regional Leagues. Now, this is pretty interesting because we do get some minor changes year to year. It seems like we've gotten some new regions. Some regions have moved together. Some regions have kind of got pushed out or reformatted or whatever. But for the most part, this system we've had in place of like the major regions, the emerging regions, minor regions, whatever the heck you want to call them, has mostly been in place. And yes, the ERLs keep growing and growing, but I don't think we've really had the ERLs absorbing many of these other regions or anything like that yet. But there are a lot of people calling for changes and wanting changes and thinking changes would be fun, exciting, interesting, or whatever to both the MSI and Worlds format, because right now there is a large gap between Korea and China and NA and the LEC and maybe one or two other regions. But between that middle clump and all the minor regions, there is also a huge gap. So you have NA and the LEC, Europe, that are already getting like astro gapped by the top teams, you know. Look at the records for EU and NA at this World. Yes, Rogue did end up doing well before ultimately kind of falling apart the second week, falling apart in quarterfinals. They won a couple games, but all the other teams won like one game, 2 games max. And these are the teams that kind of stomped through the play-ins for the most part as well. So some people are saying, hey, if we have less and less of these really bad regions or make them play against each other or whatever somehow, which Riot isn't really seemingly willing to do, because when you just have like a play-ins of only the minor regions with no major regions involved, viewership doesn't do that well. Nobody really cares about that. Yeah, there are some of the minor region fans and stuff that do care about some of these matchups and all this stuff, but hey, just watch the regional leagues. You know, it doesn't really make sense for Riot to put on this whole very expensive production, especially something that merits the quality that Worlds asked for the viewership to not really be all that great, because nobody really cares about teams that are ultimately very likely going to get destroyed by teams that aren't even that good. Again, they're going to get destroyed by the LCS and LEC teams, who are then also going to get destroyed. Like, I don't know, there's some people who are saying they don't even want EU and NA at these events, let alone, some of these minor regions. So taking a emerging region or minor region and downgrading them to the ERL status is actually very interesting. But I think it could be cool and exciting in some ways. And this also begs a question of, hey, what is going to happen to these players now? Because there have been rumors in the past of maybe these Turkish players and potentially some other of these minor regions counting not as imports anywhere in the world. You know, maybe being able to go to like North America and not be counted as imports, which would be very, very interesting for players like Closer. Also could be very, very interesting for players like Broken Blade. I'm not sure if he's an EU resident or a Turkish resident in terms of, what they count him in, like the LOL esports database or whatever, but some players like that are in that boat. Turkey was once, I think, a stronger region maybe a couple of years ago. They have kind of fallen off since then. So at the end of the day, I don't really think this matters too much, but seeing them as an ERL and having ways and pipelines and pathways and everything to work their players into the LEC that way, I think could be pretty interesting and pretty exciting. And I don't really think it changes the Turkish region that much because, hey, their domestic league should still stay relatively the same. And now they have a chance to actually play in like EU Masters and stuff like that, which in some ways could end up being more successful, better viewership, more money and all that than them just kind of going to Worlds and going 0-5 or 1-4 or whatever and getting stomped out. They have a chance to actually compete for a title, which could be cool. Wooloo did chime in on this news, and he said, I've heard from good sources the same information about Turkey and the TCL losing its world spot next year. However, I couldn't confirm that they would become an ERL instead. I would assume that this is very, very likely, but apparently Wooloo hasn't been able to confirm anything like that. He also says it's worth noting this is one of several changes coming to the LOL ecosystem we'll see next year. So, hey, there's more and more exciting changes to look out for. And Wooloo dropped another one of these bombs on us today. He tweeted out sources. Riot plans for the MENA, which I don't know exactly what that stands for. I'm going to guess. Don't be mad. I'm not trying to offend or upset or whatever anybody, but I'm assuming that this stands for Middle East and North Africa or Northern Africa or whatever, just kind of looking at this map. Again, we have the Middle East, we have North Africa, we have Morocco, Tunisia, Algeria, Libya, Egypt, Sudan, Palestine, Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, Iraq, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Oman, Yemen, Bahrain, Qatar, all of these different countries in this region. And apparently, they plan for the MENA region to become an ERL. This would join the competition against other ERLs representing France, Turkey, Spain, and more. A Bahrain server has also recently appeared on the tournament realm. So this is potentially a very, very exciting area for Riot to be diving into again by, I guess, putting a server there. I don't know if they've had servers or not before. I don't know if they've had to play on like EU NE or EU West or where exactly they play or whatever, but does seem like some new exciting information coming out. And whether you think this is a big deal, MENA or TCL or whatever, it just does show that Riot clearly must have some more in store, like Wooloo has talked about in those other tweets, for changes to the LOL esports landscape in 2023. Could this just be they're going to change around who makes it to what tournaments and change around the seeding, maybe add some seeds to different regions, take away some seeds from different regions? Possibly. Or could they be going for overall format changes? Because once you start changing the numbers of regions available and the numbers of teams available and stuff, you start to be able to come up with different ideas, mix and match certain things, come up with hopefully bigger, better, more interesting, more exciting, and more fun to watch, more entertaining tournaments and events, which has been a criticism of mine because it really, really sucks that Valorant is this new shiny esport that is getting all this love and getting all these awesome formats and getting all these positive changes made to it, and League is getting kind of left in the wayside when people have all these interesting ideas. At the very least, just like, hey, let's get more best of fives, let's have double elimination, let's have the major regions matching up against each other more often, let's have more meaningful games, more games that we actually care about, more games that we actually want to see. And at the very least, these changes are something. I want to get them out to you, but at the most, the biggest reach, the biggest speculation, they could be a sign of more and more exciting changes to come, hopefully in the near future, because again, it's already almost November. We're getting closer and closer to 2023 every single day. But that's pretty much it for this video today, guys. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.